Hello. I'm gonna wait for some people to get in the chat. It's gonna take a second. This is a live stream. Last time I went pretty slowly and we only managed to get all this done in like 40 minutes. So I'm gonna be going a little faster this time. I'll probably do dungeons, figure out if this is actually 5% for a drop on this. Because I think Krakens might be different, but I need to go back and check the update logs on Discord. So I'm just gonna wait a second before I start this. Take people a few minutes to get in. Get a copy of this. Send this to someone. Gotta get Nightbot in the channel. Nightbot has never helped anyone because I never even actually gave a moderator. Yeah, I'll eventually figure out how to get Nightbot in here and set up, but that's not happening today. Let's go ahead and start. So before I went over the Collins test, I renamed this to Math Fairness Test because it's actually changed in another court case that I wasn't aware of. I'm not sure if the name is the same, but I remember it was slightly longer and it doesn't apply. So just saying all information must be presented, equally. It can't just say, oh, well, there's a 79% chance this dude's lying and never address that there's a 3% chance that he's telling the truth, basically. All formulas supposed to be applied correctly. All numbers supposed to be real numbers and not guesses. As a result of that, we went and created a wide estimate and went with the highest number possible up here to give ship farming the best chance it could, because ship farming is not winning this. And we got a 96% chance of single devil fruit each hour for 200 chips. For 200 chips. Event A and B, this is probability formula. This is the extra 1 per 4 hours if you have, what's it called? Hold on, my mic's a bit loud. If you have a DF notifier, you get an extra 1 per 4 hours. So I'm just adding that in here. You also get that with Kraken and CBs, but honestly this already freaking destroys everything else. If you have 5 players and they're all getting the drop and it's a 5% chance, out of all the players, because so many of you are getting drop chance, you're getting so many 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. That's 6 9s. It takes 7 9s for people to consider it 100% in math, and this is seriously an 8. This is 6 9s and an 8. So we're basically considering this 100% chance. Like, you're getting a fruit each hour if you've got 5 players. One of them's getting a fruit. But for solo farming, it's much worse at an only 95% chance. Whereas dungeons already have a 100% chance, and you can get up to 4 per hour. A friend of mine told me you do them 12 minutes, so at best, at the very least, you can get at least 4 per hour. Maybe 5 if you're extremely lucky, but that's unlikely, and most people won't be able to do it in 4 per hour. So we have this formula, which is actually the Logia formula, because we already know that 100% with up to 4 per hour is going to be better than ship farming. And Kraken and Sea Beast might be better. I haven't calculated what the chances are of getting 4 more out of your group of 5. Considering you have a 95% chance per person, that's probably pretty high. But this is still highballing it. We're assuming that it has a 0-minute spawn timer. And it takes about 1 minute to kill, which is just ridiculous because your cooldowns are longer than that. You're not going to be able to ult every minute. You're not going to be able to kill it every minute. So at best, solo farming Krakens is the best. Also, if we're going to do it with 5 players, you could do dungeons with 5 players and have much better rewards. You just have to have 5 different dungeons running at once, which is a bit strange. So already, dungeons is better. weekend 1 minus 0.92 to the power of n equals x, and this is normally 1 minus 0.96, I think, to the power of n equals x. And therefore, by this logic, the odds of getting one on a weekend at a 50% chance would be 1 minus 0.92 to the power of n equals 0.5. And this is for 50% chance, just in general. If you've got a 50% chance of getting Logia from this, it's going to take you a certain number of dungeons. In case this becomes negative 0.92 to the power of n equals negative 0.5, which we divide by negative 0.92, where we just get 1 to the power of n, 1 to the power of n equals, well, I suppose there's another way to do this. There's a better way to do this at least. We multiply everything by negative 1. So yeah, 0.92 to the power of n equals 0.5. And then we just log it from here, because this is log base 0.92 of 0.5 equals n. And from there we can just do this log base formula. Therefore, log of 0.5 divided by log of 0.92 should equal n, and when we put this into Desmos Scientific, we should get, I think it's 12 or 13. It's been way too long since I've done this. 8 dungeon runs on weekends. Yeah. So yeah. Therefore, on average, it takes 8 dungeon runs per Logia. This is also true for any Logia. So let's go ahead and actually make this odds of Logia and make it its own section. Period. There isn't much here. It's also true for any Logia. I don't actually have to add. Takes 8 dungeon runs. 8 dungeon runs is a good way to say this, just because dungeon runs is the only thing with a 100% chance. So let's just note that dungeon runs usually aren't 4 per hour. Therefore, an alternative for low-level players would be Kraken and sea beast farming, especially since it would massively level them up as well. As they have to do 5%, they get somewhere around 10. No, you get 10k EXP if you do all the work. I think you get 2k if you do 5 to 10%, which also gives you drop chance of the high regen items such as armor, and the ship farm items such as core and the other core, but those aren't exactly worth it. Therefore, by this logic, we can conclude that dungeons is probably best for solo players who are already max, as if you really can, dungeons 3 per hour gives 1, the rewards not split. What on earth is this talking about? I'm lost. Oh dear. I know what that's talking about. That does not need to be there. Dungeons 100% with up to 4 per hour. Already dungeons are better for solo players who are max. I understand why people have issues, because getting credit on Kraken and CV's farming requires either gun or fruit, really. Yeah, sure, you can swim and start slashing at it with one sword style, which used to do somewhere around 23 per swing, which was kind of ridiculous, but that's just not happening. So, other than that, Logia odds, dungeons, Kraken and CB. So Kraken and CB is probably second best. Okay. So when I actually go ahead and make this into a legitimate thing, I am going to be adding disclaimers, like why this exists, why this matters, why I spent my time on it. Because a lot of people in the Discord were just like, bro, you're a freaking nerd, why on earth did you do this? And I'm just like, guys, I did it for myself. Please, I'm giving it to you for free. Why? What reason do you have to complain? But yes, okay, so we're going to Desmos graphing calculator now. And we're going to figure out which fruit has the highest DPS. Based off this, which is basically going to give us all of these. We're going to start with all the mins that probably are right. Like Sand, Goro, Magma, Pika. Pika honestly isn't it, but I am going to add it. Just because a lot of people are kind of confused about how much damage Pika does. It does barely anything. Mara especially. Mara has another one of the lower damages. It compares to something like Magma, but it's still kind of low. It's kind of near Pika. But the raw ability of flying we're going to also factor in. We're going to factor that in somehow. Zushi as well is going to be a possibility because Zushi also has fly, and fly is going to be used a lot. Horo just does way too little DPS. You guys can look at this. Hollow's Fang. I was wondering if I should delete it from this, but no, there's no need. I think that's still... Actually, this probably isn't accurate anymore. It has been a while. No one's reported it to me. I won't delete it just yet. We also have to include stamina. We have to do the HP formula as well. Just to see if they can survive one light ray. Or sorry, light ult from bosses. Because bosses will always get that light ult off. But none of that is super important. We're going to be going off of Sand. Also, don't worry about Gura. Gura doesn't deserve to be on this list at all. It just does so little damage. It's always paired with sword. And it has charge attacks. And charge attacks require... Have you guys ever seen this formula? It's something like P equals A E to the power of T. Yeah, this is literally the formula for Gura charges, so it's stupid. I can't calculate this. I can't figure out how to do time. I can figure out the base-ish. I can figure out E. I know what E is. It's a constant. But there's no way I'm figuring out time exactly. It doesn't matter what I do. I'm not getting it close enough to actually figure this out. And even if I do get this, it's not going to help people at all. It's not going to help me at all. It's not going to help anyone. So yeah, Gura doesn't deserve to be on this list. Not because it's particularly bad. I mean, it has low damages, but it just can't be on the list. That's the issue. So I had to take Magma Swamp as it won't attack a lot of stuff at all. So we could deposit these sheets in here if this was something else, but this is Desmos, this is sheets. We can't do that. So we're going to take this value, step 1, and step 1 is basically, as you'll see, all of these terms added together. Step 2 is this minus this. So step 2 will show you how many points this fruit goes up. In this case, it actually goes up on 301 because Sheets decided to bug out. And she's also going to do this for this, so we're going to have a lot of trouble. But basically, this will have a formula attached to it of all of these combined, and we can very slowly start to graph this out, because really all I'm doing with every single move in this game is I am taking a function and applying the base, which I'm not entirely sure the base for each move, but we're going to be starting at 300 for base. Let's say this is 16. Base 16 plus in, which is the number. In this case, I think that would be x. Because this is a function of x. Yes, function of x, that should work. This should be x, not y, I think. Yeah, if this were y, that'd be really strange. Yeah. This fx equals 16 plus x times rate. And the rate in this case is, what's the rate? 1 divided by 20, right? Yeah, 1 divided by 20. 1 divided by 20. So this is technically 1 over 20x, but this is calculated the same thing. And we'll get this graph of the value of this move. And as you can see, it steadily goes up. Of course, there's a cap to this move as well. And this would be so long as x, if x is less than 35, I think. Sorry, did I do that right? What's going on? Cannot use inequality here. Okay. I'm not entirely sure that works, but we won't need it. All we need are the first 300 points or so. From here, it doesn't matter. So we could do this for every move, but we're going to be doing it for every fruit, as every fruit individually will be a lot easier. But as you'll notice, some moves go up differently than others. For example, here it goes up by 5, here it goes up by 1. So we're going to actually have to take this column somehow and plop it in Desmos, which requires us basically doing all of this with, addition. We're going to have to add this entire formula plus the next move plus the next move. And we're also going to have to calculate that some of these moves have multiple hits. For example, Magma will have multiple hits on Magma Rain. It'll have, I believe it was around 50. It's been a while since I've had Magma. Although I have checked to make sure all of this is accurate before. But yeah, this is doing 31 damage at 300 more, which is 600 N. And if this is all accurate, this should happen accurately. So at 600... Oh, it shouldn't have started at 300. That's kind of an issue. It's just, yeah, it's going to be 601. I should have started at 301, not 300. I just kind of realized that. Don't worry, I can just say that this is... I get that we're starting at 16 damage here, but we really need to be starting kind of at 17, I think. So, what's the damage of 600 right now? That is 32. What's this getting me at 300? Should be getting me like 31, yeah. So yeah, this should be 17. Let's just clarify that. Each move's going to have a different DPS. We're going to put this in here. I'm going to do most of this off camera because I am literally going to have to combine all these moves. This is going to take forever, and then I'm going to have to say, this is times 10 because it'll only reasonably hit 10 times. Stuff like that. I mean, Magma Rain will hit every time against NPCs. There's no doubt about that. Like, they can hold block in dungeons. But the Sea Beasts and Krakens can't hold block. They can hold block in dungeons. And we're going to have to create a different graph for dungeons and stuff, as well as a different graph for Sea Beast farming and a different graph for ship farming. This is all going to take a crap ton of time that I'm going to do off camera. As for this is basically giving us the odds of a Logia. I actually never did this for weekdays. I am blind. Normally would be the exact same equation, except we have 0.96 now. We can literally actually skip most of the steps. This is a formula in and of itself. I just didn't want to skip to it because most people know the logarithm formula. Most of them do not know this formula, which basically says we're going to do 0.5 divided by log 0.96 in this case. And we should get... Yeah, that's 16 dungeons. And that's assuming these logs are actually turning into logs right now, which they are. Okay. Yes, this is 16. 16 equals 16. Oh dear, that's double. I could have swore I saw 13 last time. I don't know, maybe I'm going crazy. This is 0.96, right? There's a 4% chance. Therefore, there's a 96% chance of not. we subtract, we multiply by -1, we log form it, we use change of base formula. I suppose it's 16. I don't know. If I get this wrong, someone tell me, please. I could have sworn I knew this, but now I'm second guessing myself. I think I got it right. If I got it wrong, I'll update this again. Wait for final edits. That's about it. So that just about wraps it up for this kind of segment. This one's a lot shorter than last time. I didn't want to spend 40 minutes on the last one. I'm going to record me actually, like with a script doing all this. I mean, I do have a script. It's just pulled up on Notepad. I have to, literally open Notepad to look at it. Slight difference there. But yeah, I'm going to have a script next time. I'm going to do an actual video instead of a live stream. And that's going to be next time. For now, this is the end of the video. Same kind of concepts apply as before. They're the same things. Once I kind of got it all out for ship farm, we're going to do the same thing for Kraken Dungeons. Logia odds also as well. Use the exact same formula as all of this. That's because we're using the independent events formula for every single statistics-based thing in this game. Like, there's no other point. There's no point of any other formula. And the statistics formula base says probably A, probability A times PA or PB is equal to AB. Yeah, that's probability formula. You can Google online. In any case, that's it. I will see you guys later. I'll probably shorten this, edit it, repost it, probably actually just redo it and then send these out. This is just a live stream, so you guys got a feel for theory crafting. This is theory crafting. It's not that difficult once you get the hang of it. There's more stuff that requires arithmetic and geometric formulas. For example, swords require geometric